you beautiful people? My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Tony Tuesday.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up? For our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick heads up, this episode is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Click in the description below to listen to our discussion portion. Unfortunately, we can't show the reaction, but discussion, check the link in the description and you'll be able to find it. We're joined by the beautiful Ruby. She is out of surgery and being very cuddly over here, being a very good girl.
You can't really see her,
but she's over here.
She's been very mellow. She's just chilling out. Back for another Tony Tuesday. She couldn't miss it. She just got a tooth extracted, so yeah. She's on drugs, and she's recovering. She's just very mellow.
Send love to Ruby, please. Hey, Ben, Charlie, how you guys doing?
We're good. Ready to watch The Sopranos. Legend of Tennessee Moltisanti.
Whoa.
Oh, that's Christopher's last name.
Yes, sir. So let's see what the hell's going on with Christopher. Cause last we saw of him, he like jacked a FedEx truck for some watches.
Yeah.
Is what we saw in the last episode.
And Tony was mad.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So
we haven't had an episode focusing on him in a while.
No, we haven't. So I think it's always weird because there's a point we're watching the show and we're like, yo, we haven't seen this person in a while. And then the next episode they bring him up. Mm-hmm. So it's good. Hey, can you read some comments from our last video?
Yes.
Another very insightful comments that we got.
Yeah, we got a ton of insightful comments. So thanks for you guys who are commenting. This one comes from JBeck33. Just an FYI that the creator of the show, David Chase, has talked about how his relationship with his mother was complicated. So a lot of that has worked into the show through Tony and Livia's relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. Makes sense. You write what you know.
Yep.
You know, from your experiences. So.
And Ruby's leaving.
Okay, Ruby.
She's like, the negativity, I'm out.
You guys don't talk bad about Tony. Yeah. The next comment I have here is from Andy Fry Designer. You guys are awesome. Loving your Sopranos reactions. I really enjoy your detailed conversations about the story and the characters. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, this show is like really so many layers that it's so easy to get lost in the discussion.
Yeah.
Even sometimes we have to be like, all right, let's cut it a bit short because we have so much to talk about. So honestly, we're just happy to be watching a show like this, and like the fact that there's still such a huge following and appreciation for the show that we can see from our YouTube is like insane. So just happy that you're along for the ride.
Yeah, we appreciate.
Yeah, maybe we should put the full length on, like, for members. Maybe we should open up the memberships or Patreon or something. You guys let us know.
Yeah. Would y'all like to see that?
Because there is a lot that gets cut. And then we get comments of people being like, oh, I can't believe you missed this. And I'm like, damn it, it's not something we missed, but it's something that I cut out because YouTube, for just the sake of it. Yeah. Or else YouTube will flag us and HBO will come for us and our assets.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. We're abiding citizens of the law. We just like TV. So,
yes, sir.
But yeah, if y'all would like to see that, please let us know in the comments. We could do it somehow with like membership or Patreon or something like that if people are interested.
We'll play around with it.
Maybe we could do something like that. La Cheeserie says, your observations are very spot on with the filming and the style. The whole show is great. However, seasons 3 to 6 are levels above this. Ooh. You will notice the difference in quality as the show progresses. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Also, amazing name. Love it.
Yes, a great name.
We talked a lot about this in the last episode, just like the style and how we're super appreciative of it. But we're like, there's some things that you can tell they're trying out and they're testing almost because of the way that the show is and how much it was like pioneering during this time. So it's going to be really cool to see the show elevate itself as we progress throughout the seasons.
See the growth and see the change and all that stuff,
and it get better.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I feel like every single episode we are going to comment on the filmmaking.
We have to.
We're always gonna do it. We're always gonna be like, oh, look at this, oh, look at that. Yeah. I think it's just in our nature to do that. So I can't wait to see more of it, and I can't wait to see how better it gets. How it improves. So I'm excited.
Bet.
But with that being said, y'all, Charlie, episode 8.
Let's do it.
In the Czech Republic, too, we love pork. You ever had our sausages?
Yeah, this is going to be such a focus on him.
Look at this.
Oh,
the dolly shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those...
I've seen a lot of music videos.
Yeah, it's almost like he's floating.
What the hell?
What?
Adriana. In the Czech Republic,
the dream sequence.
It's Carmela?
What?
Who is that?
I don't know.
Help you? Salami sub. Hold the mayo.
What is this?
What the heck is this?
Looks like a horror.
Could it be like a representation of all the like bodies he's...
Pay attention.
Yeah.
You f***ed up.
What do you mean?
Here's these.
Yeah.
Where did you find them?
1 in the table, 3 in my skull.
Ooh.
You will have our sausages. Ah! Let go of me! Let go!
That's crazy.
The Deli Horror Show.
That was nuts. That was... Whoa. What an intro to this episode. I just want to pick up on 2 things that I don't know. I'm just predicting. Seeing Carmela and his... what's his... I'm forgetting his girlfriend's name.
Jen, I think he said, right?
Yeah.
Is it Jen? I don't know.
Yeah. Seeing both of them there, could it be... I don't know what foreshadowing that maybe they could pass away because he's there. I don't know. That's something I'm getting.
No idea. I didn't get that from it.
I don't know.
I think, I mean, that was a very suggestive
But
position
also
she
it was a
in,
position, yeah, it
eating
was
sausages like that.
form
on
of
her
submission or something.
I think it's him seeing maybe infidelity.
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that. But that's definitely the most wildest thing we've seen in this show. Like,
Yeah.
It was like came out of left field.
That woke me up. I was like, whoa.
It's like a horror moment.
Also, is this like the first dream sequence we've seen that's not Tony?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to recall one that
Yeah,
I
this is
can't.
the first one that's not in
No,
Tony's
I don't-
point of view.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right.
I would have wrapped it, but
That's okay. A computer. Thank
this model
you.
got such a good write-up, I got one for myself. You're gonna love it.
Okay, let's move.
Got her computer. He's giving it to her. He didn't even wrap it. Came right off the back of the truck.
What are the odds he stole that?
Oh, Mama Olivia, como stai, darling?
Listen to him without my darling. I am nobody's darling.
This one here, she never disappoints you, I tell you that.
Are you still seeing your other women, Lorenzo?
She's such a savage.
Federal indictments.
Yeah, I got a guy who owes me. He's got a Gomata who works at FBI headquarters as a word processor.
Oh, when's it coming down?
I don't know. When she knows, she'll tell me.
Oh, shoot.
Are you sure about this?
Oh, it ain't just my source in Jersey. Half of New York moved to Fort Lauderdale already.
They're gonna want my ass.
Why?
What do you mean, why? I'm OC.
When'd you get your wings?
I didn't. Not yet, anyway.
FBI's moving quick.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just speculation.
It's rumor.
Better be safe than sorry, no?
I say we duck for a while.
And what are we gonna do? Close shop? We can't do that.
Tony, what do you think?
What you asking him for?
Oh.
Junior's right. We go on a lamb now. It's open season. The f***ing Albanians be living in our houses.
I'm also just realizing it's HBO. It's a wedding.
Is this the origin?
I don't know.
You know, for today, for right now, you were thinking, Uncle June, that everybody should do a little spring cleaning.
That was my next comment.
Damn, they're rolling out of there. Wives are pissed.
Think they're gonna come over the weekend?
Coming someday.
Oh, my
Just falling.
Where's the rest of the money?
It's everywhere.
I'll get it.
See where the Breaking Bad inspiration comes from.
So Carmela knows where the money's hidden throughout the house.
Right now.
Oh my God, the Uzi.
gosh.
Boot your computer, the cops are coming.
So?
You want them to see all that porno you downloaded?
My God, bro. It's got a whole arsenal in there.
Oh, you better give me your jewelry. Jesus. Hey, they know we can't produce receipts. You want them stealing the shit from us?
I'm not giving you my engagement ring. This isn't stolen.
Ooh.
Is
Oh
it?
my God,
No.
Tony.
What do you think I am?
Good Lord. Is he reading a script?
Oh, I understand the title now. Instead of like Tennessee Williams, it's Tennessee Moltisanti.
Oh.
You're still on the file. You must have deleted the text.
Whatever. You fucking asshole!
All right, stop!
Is this the computer that he gifted at the wedding? Was like, I have the same model. It's great.
Probably.
There, the text came back. You put it in buffer memory.
Control Z.
Didn't exist back then, brother.
Might have. I don't know.
What do you think?
The script? I managed to get the drop on him. Do you mean to say I managed to get the drop on him? Or is he saying manuj, like manuj l'american?
It's before Grammarly existed.
My Tennessee Williams.
Yeah,
There it is.
I have never seen you apply yourself like this.
I love movies. You know that. That smell in Blockbuster.
The nostalgia.
Yup.
My cousin Gregory's girlfriend Amy, the one that works for Tarantino, said mob stories are always hot.
I'm so dead.
With these indictments, shouldn't you put the script away for a while and get rid of evidence? You stole this computer plus the one you just gave Melissa.
Oh,
I knew it.
Turn on channel 6.
A grand jury has been impaneled to investigate possible mob activities in in the Garden State.
While it is true that the mob is getting a standing 8 count, I wouldn't call it a fight. The government knows this better than anyone. My sources tell me that Corrado Jr. Soprano was made new boss after the death of Aprio.
Oh my goodness. And his psychiatrist is seeing all this. Although she suspected. She knows.
No one would ever have ranked him as associate. Brendan Filone, associate, soldier. You.
Jesus.
Now, why would they make that public on TV while it's being investigated? Like,
yeah, that's the question that I had in my head.
Georgie, did you see it from the beginning? Did they mention my name?
He wants them to mention him.
No, I shouldn't have mentioned it. Can we change the subject?
No way. What's he do, Mom? Is he in the mob or what?
Not a mobster, is he, Jen?
Nobody knows better than you, Richard. I can't discuss my patients.
I just hope he's not one of those crumbs they're talking about on the news.
Just refer him to another doctor. You can do that, couldn't you?
Why should I refer him to another doctor? He's my patient.
Well, you know you can't treat sociopaths.
You have no idea who this man is, and yet you call him scum.
People like him are the reason Italian Americans have such a bad image. Ask any American to describe an Italian American in this country. Invariably, he's going to reference The Godfather, Goodfellas.
Good movies. Good movies to eat pizza by.
Stop it, Jason.
It's true.
Italians Against Discrimination did a study. And at its height, the mafia in this country had less than 5,000 members. And yet, that tiny, insignificant fraction casts such a dark shadow over 20 million hardworking Americans. I mean...
Dad, at this point in our cultural history, mob movies are classic American cinema, like Westerns.
I have to agree there, Rich.
that's true.
Indeed.
Yeah. Are they Jewish American?
29.
Oh, some cannolis.
Watching this while hungry is not a good idea.
No.
Hey, Gino, can I get you?
Whoa, number 34, right here.
He was in line, man. He just went out to go get gas in his car.
Oh, so I could go out, fuck your sister, come back Saturday, I go to the front of the line?
I said he could.
I'm next. Now get a fucking pastry box.
Gino, what can I get you?
Oh!
Hey, you're messing with the wrong guy, bro.
Touch a single fucking crust, you're gonna wish you took that job at McDonald's.
Oh my God.
You.
God, Christopher's gonna beat the shit out of this kid.
Now get up. I'm not gonna hurt you. What is it? Do I look like a pussy to you?
No.
So why the fuck would you give me a hard time and talk to me like I'm nothing to worry about?
I'm sorry.
Get a pastry box. Move it!
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Now fill it with cannoli, Schwierdel, and Napoleon.
Imagine holding up somebody with a gun because of cannolis, bro.
Bro.
And to think there was a shooting in front of
there's a
pastry shop.
in
modern
Boston,
pastry.
yeah.
In the North End.
Just a couple weeks ago.
Still runs deep, brother.
Yeah.
Next time you see my face, show some respect.
I will.
Oh, you shot him in the foot.
You shot my foot! It happens.
Idiot.
Tony's gonna be so pissed, bro.
Yeah.
Christopher's making dumb moves, stealing watches, shooting a guy in the foot. He's being sloppy, especially with investigation.
This is no time to go on a raid, Christopher. Not with the indictment shit coming down. Take Georgie, go in the bathroom, sweep for bugs, okay?
Well, you'll be all right. They didn't even mention your name on television.
You know what? That news guy, he said the words Brendan Filone. I'm telling you, the hairs in the back of my neck stood up. I mean, I knew the guy.
They should not be talking about this while searching for bugs, too, bro.
True. Carmela.
Oh, there's a plan here.
Who is it? I'm sleeping.
Come on, get dressed. I'm taking you to brunch.
What?
You heard me. Get dressed.
What's wrong? Tell me.
Nothing is wrong, Ma. Why does something have to be wrong?
But you come here unannounced, and I shouldn't wonder if something's wrong.
It's a nice day. I thought I would take you out.
Is it Anthony? Those indictments? His father could take it in stride, but he can't.
Wow, already.
Are they taking her out in case, like, she gets interrogated or something?
Maybe. Oh, he's gonna check her room for bugs.
Oh, okay.
That's the feeling I'm getting here.
Yeah, that might be it.
Oh, he's finding a new place to stash. Jesus.
Oh
my.
Oh my
This
God.
is crazy.
Smart, right? That's the last place the cops would look.
I guess so.
In a nursing home? Sorry, retirement community.
Yes.
But yo, he's putting it like if his mom finds it, she's gonna be what?
Is she gonna find it though? She's not. She probably won't.
What a nurse?
A nurse could maybe.
So you're telling me that you're planning a vacation, but you're not sure exactly when it will be.
Right. I may never go. There's a strong possibility that it could happen.
Does this have anything to do with what's been on the news lately? So if you suddenly stop coming to your appointments, I will assume that you are on vacation. And I should wait to be contacted?
That would be a good assumption.
I mean, at least they established that. The state of this apartment.
What's wrong with you? Talk to me. This ain't like you, kid. I ran into Billy Cracciolo. Told me the regular cops in Nutley are looking for a guy. Blew off a kid's toe for no good reason in Russo's bakery.
He's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I'm working my ass off on this movie script. You know how many pages I got? 19.
That writer with the bullfights blew his own fucking head off. My advice, put that thing down a while. We go get our joints capped, and tomorrow, the words will come blowing out your ass.
You ever feel like nothing good was ever gonna happen to you?
Yeah, and nothing did. So what? I'm alive. I'm surviving.
That's it. I don't want to just survive. It says in these movie writing books that every character has an arc. Where's my arc? I got no identity. Even Brendan Fallone's got an identity. He's dead. I killed that fucking email cola on nothing. I don't even move up a notch. All I got is nightmares. That Polish, Czechoslovak, whatever the fuck he is haunting me in my dreams every night.
That happens. The more of them you do, the better you'll sleep.
I feel like he's trying to tell me something. That we fucked up the night that we buried him.
We didn't fuck up.
And I'm in danger. What did we do wrong that night?
You know who had an arc? Noah.
Oh my God, are they digging up his body?
Jesus.
Oh, is that him? Now that would be some fucking coincidence if it wasn't, wouldn't it? He was clean shaven, he's got a fucking beard now.
Oh, you know what? I read that. That happens.
Oh my God.
Look at his fingernails.
Oh, they're like a woman's.
I'm gonna fucking puke.
Oh, that's gross. That can happen even after you're gone, bro?
I had no idea.
You know, you're all worked up about my patient, a man who has no bearing on who you are or where you are in this world.
Call him a patient. Man's a criminal, Jennifer. And after a while, finally, you're gonna get beyond psychotherapy with its cheesy moral relativism. Finally, you're gonna get to good and evil, and he's evil.
Sorry I'm late, the alarm was.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Paulie tell you I ain't been feeling good?
You know what? I wet my ass with your feelings.
Thanks a lot.
Drive the fucking car.
Damn.
We're under a microscope and I gotta hear on the street you shot some fucking civilian in the foot because he made you wait for buns?
Fucking Paulie.
Don't blame fucking Paulie. Occasion comes to me and says Nutley PD's got a description and I'm making the car. Why don't you just leave a fucking urine sample next time?
Yeah, literally.
People do that shit, they want to get caught.
Oh, I want to get caught.
Yeah, you want to get caught.
He's building his arc, Tony.
Can I try and explain here? It's like just the fucking regularness of life is too fucking hard for me or something. I don't know.
Look at you. I bet you're sleeping all the time, right?
It's the only thing I still enjoy. Something fucking horrible is going on inside my body. There's a physical change or something.
Well, I'm just thinking maybe you're depressed.
Oh, he's projecting his therapy.
I'm no fucking mental midget.
Maybe you got a serotonin problem.
You know about that shit?
Saw it last night on a program. Let me ask you a question. Ever think about,
No. It's fucking pathetic.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Whoa.
He's suggesting he thinks about it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Anthony Soprano.
What are you doing in my backyard?
Gate was open. I'm Agent Harris. This is Agent Frisco. May we come in? We have a search warrant. So why don't you take a minute and tell them you have visitors?
Uh-oh.
I mean, they clean the house.
Vacation.
Why don't you tell me what you're looking for? Maybe I could save you some time.
Any incriminating evidence would be nice.
I'm very sorry.
Mrs. Soprano, how much would you say that bowl cost?
I'm not cleaning that up.
Grasso, get something to clean that.
Grasso, ti faccio culo così.
I understood like 2 words of that.
I
Probably.
heard culo. It's like, bro, they're eating so much in this episode. It's making me dumb hungry.
Is that Chinese takeout?
Yes. Oh, that sounds so good right now, man.
Did you know that an Italian invented the telephone?
Alexander Graham Bell was Italian?
Antonio Meucci invented the telephone and he got robbed.
Who invented the mafia?
Oh.
Wasn't it Salvatore Lucana, better known as Charlie Lucky Luciano, who organized the 5 families? Lucchese, Gambino, Bonanno, Profaci.
Is there something you want to say to me?
I just like history, like you did.
Can you just shut the fuck up about it?
The Bank of America. You ever heard of it? One of the biggest banks in the world. Started by an Italian.
Is it true that the Chinese invented spaghetti?
Now think about it. Why would people who eat with sticks invent something that you need a fork to eat?
I love it.
And I won't tell you about Sacco Vanzetti either.
The 2 Antichrist that got the electric chair in Massachusetts?
Anarchists.
Were 2 innocent men who got the chair because they were Italian.
How can there be 2 Antichrists? There was only one Christ.
And of course, Francis Albert.
Who's Francis Albert? I don't know.
Just so you understand that I have to charge you for the missed session.
What if I got hit by a car?
But you weren't.
I know that, but what if?
You weren't.
Why don't you answer my fucking question? Here you go. Because this is what it's all about, right? Motherfucking cock-sucking money. Here.
I don't understand that comment, and I don't appreciate being made to feel afraid.
I don't appreciate feeling like I pour my heart out to a fucking call girl.
Is that how you see me?
Not until now. But it's obvious you don't give a shit about my situation or what's happening with me. Otherwise, you won't be shaking me down.
It'll show it as paid on your next month's bill.
Stick it up your ass.
Damn, Tony.
Yo.
Getting cheap off of one missed appointment there.
No, I don't think it's about money.
I think we may have a bad apple.
Does Tony know about this?
Do me a favor, don't let Tony know you know. He's under enough pressure.
I'm sure he's telling the psychiatrist it's all his mother's fault. He's been seeing one for a while now. God only knows what he says.
Tony?
Yes, Tony.
Psychiatrist?
Yes, Junior, for Christ's sake.
What did you say to Tony about this?
Me? I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. And Junior, I don't want there to be any repercussions.
Christopher, it's Mommy. I know you're there. Pick it up. I'm worried about you. My God, they mention your name in the newspaper today. The Star Ledger.
Jason, are you concerned that your mother is treating this patient X?
I don't care.
And as a colleague, Jen, I suggest you drop the patient.
After her last encounter with him, she finally acknowledged that she saw the different side of him, the subhuman.
When did we become so afraid to get our hands dirty?
It's what she gets paid for.
I say refer this patient to a therapist that specializes in mafia depression.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if that's a normal thing for them. Family therapy session.
Oh, there you
To
go.
go buy the paper.
He's getting his arc. He's getting his arc.
His name's in there. Yeah, so you better get home and start freaking cleaning your apartment, brother. If they have your name in the paper, then your search is coming next.
Wow, that episode flew, bro.
Yeah, it was a short one.
Yeah.
It was like 45, 48 minutes.
We saw a lot of food in this episode, and we got hungry. So we, after watching this, before getting into our discussion, we quickly ordered some food, and now we're getting into our discussion.
Yeah, straight up. Like every time I saw something, I was like, bro, it's getting worse. Yeah, like my stomach is starting to rumble.
Okay, but I think a big emphasis in this episode was Christopher, right? This was his episode, and I want you guys to walk me through what happened in that intro. What do you think that the significance of that intro was now after seeing this full episode in length?
I don't know if we know yet.
Do you have an idea or your interpretation? Is there something that you saw after finishing this episode that, you know, made you look back at the intro differently?
I mean, he had a conversation with one of his pals there about it, and
Paulie.
Yeah, with Paulie. And what did Paulie say? It was like, maybe he's trying to tell you something. It's the guy that he killed, right? And they went to go like re-dig up his body or something. So I think it was
They were saying it happens like, no? Were they
I
not
think Paulie
saying
was
that?
saying like you just got to keep killing and it's gonna go away. I think that's what I think that's what I understood.
Yeah.
I think someone told him after that, after the fact.
They told him after the fact, like, just keep.
It was a different person. It wasn't Paulie.
It wasn't Paulie. Oh, okay. So
from what I understood, he was redigging up the body to check for mistakes or something, right?
Yeah.
He's just paranoid.
Yeah.
Because he was paranoid, yeah. And I don't know. I think it's just there's a lot on his mind. He's got this whole thing with writing a script for a story. He feels like he has no purpose in life, no arc. And maybe all of those things were symbolizing different areas of his life that just seem dead.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I kind of got it all as like he's feeling like this is all for nothing. And him not getting a mention on the news or getting his name in the paper the first time around is what brought him to feel like, oh my God, dude, I've killed, I've robbed, I've done whatever, and nobody recognizes me. Like, I'm doing everything for the mob, but nothing's happening to my benefit, or nobody's even recognizing.
He's
what
not
I'm
moving
doing.
up the ranks. He's staying at the same place. He's not seeing the growth.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's been kind of weighing on him, because it's almost like, what is this all about? What is it all for? And I think he's struggling with his identity in that sense.
What do you think him trying to write a movie script means to him. Like what's the significance of that and what he's trying to do? Is it an escapism, or is it something of him trying to recreate a character that is the main character, that is someone who has an arc, is someone who has a change? You think that's what it is?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. It's like in a way he's doing this because this will set him apart. This will be different for him. This is where his focus is going to be. But in that same vein, or a little bit differently, he's also writing this story because he feels almost like he doesn't have control over his own destiny. And it almost feels like he's trying to write who he wants to be or what his arc should be, right? And I think that's like one of the most, he's like so caught up in it, but it's a very, very good way to illustrate the difficulties that he's having is through him writing this script.
Yeah, because what I am interpreting is that when he goes to write, he can't create anything.
No.
He's like, shoot, what do I write about? You know, because he's trying to write about himself, I think, and his mob work, but he has nothing to write about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes him even more paranoid. It gets in his head, the sense of like, oh shoot, what's my purpose in doing this?
He's kind of realizing like he's kind of small fish. Like he's really nothing. You know what I mean? In comparison to Tony, to Junior, to Paulie, to everybody else, like he's nothing, and he's just struggling with his own identity so much. And I think that was something that was really, really clear throughout the entire episode. But I think at one point he says like it's almost like the boredom of like a normal life is not enough for me.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like craving this attention from the mob and like the validation of being a soldier, eventually being made or whatever. Like all of this stuff is basically like his life's work, and he's not getting any validation in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, you know, he's seeing kind of the walls kind of cave in around him, right? Like everyone, the indictments, people's houses getting searched, everything. And he's not even near that conversation. He's not even near that conversation, even though he's at the crux of everything that's happening. Mm-hmm. And I think that is what's creating his like identity crisis.
Yeah, there was a interesting scene with him and Tony in the car, and Charlie. I want to know, what did you get out of that scene? Was it Tony kind of admitting to the audience that he has struggled with the conversation of suicide?
Yeah, I think so. I think that part of it was a concern for Christopher and just checking in on him and being like, hey, do you have like these feelings of, you know, depression and stuff like that? Probably also because he's been more open-minded about it and like has learned a lot about depression and stuff. So he's going to be checking on the people around him, I feel. But yes, I do think part of it was like a confession in asking Christopher, like, oh, do you think about, you know, blowing your brains out? And then that look he had on his face, it's like, yeah.
There was a lot of tension in that scene. You can just see from Christopher's side, from his perspective, and also from Tony's perspective. There was just a lot of quiet and very just, they were just there like.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it just felt like they were trapped the entire time. And I think maybe it's because of, you know, society at the time where it's really hard for men to open up to one another. So they don't want to do it because, you know, if they tell someone this, they're going to make fun of you this, they're going to roast you or whatever.
Or they use it against you.
They use it against you now because also there's a mob factor as well into this. But, man, that was a powerful scene.
Yeah. It felt like the quintessential like toxic masculinity moment.
Yeah.
In the sense where they're so close to being able to, because you can tell Christopher's dealing with the depression thing. I think that was spot on. Mm-hmm. Like he's dealing with some depression. He's dealing with some like feeling lost. And I think Tony is coming from a perspective of like, I so badly want someone to relate to. And like he's hoping that Christopher will say these things and like confirm that he's feeling kind of the same way about Tony, but he doesn't, because they know what they both know is that this in their world is a sign of weakness.
Exactly. But what's crazy from Tony's perspective as well, he can't be open to him. He can't because of the relationship he has with Christopher, and also Christopher's relationship in the mob. Because if he goes out and just tells him straight up, and it just that dynamic, I don't think it works.
I don't think he was looking for him to tell him straight up. I think he was looking for him to say, yes, I am struggling with this, and for Tony to somehow be able to help him in that sense, because he could then internally be like, I've been through this, I can help you. And also like, damn, somebody else is also feeling the same thing that I'm feeling. But he didn't get that validation.
No.
But you guys don't think that Christopher is like one of the, if he was going to tell someone, Christopher would be the ideal person?
No.
In a way?
He's so influenced by the guys at the top. What are the guys at the top?
He is, but him and Tony, like their relationship with one another, I feel like it would make sense. Like I feel like Christopher could look at it and kind of understand.
Yes and no, because Christopher's kind of an idiot. So like the last thing you want to do is tell somebody who might accidentally leak your secret or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Bro, look what he did in this episode. He shot a guy in the foot at a bakery.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he's a hothead.
He is a hothead. He's crazy.
I don't think it's because Christopher is the wrong kind of person. I think it's just because he doesn't trust Christopher in the sense of like he knows that his secret's going to get him in trouble. Can get him in trouble.
Yeah.
Which is why he's kept it so close to his chest.
But that conversation was very interesting because Tony is trying to welcome him to opening up to him, but he's still not at the same time. He's kind of making some jabs at it. So then Christopher is hesitant as well. So it just becomes a battle of like kind of neutrality where one just doesn't want to say something. They're just like, yeah.
But also in a way, it's almost like confirming like, oh, I made this joke about people that like killing themselves, and you're like, oh, you think it's funny too? And like it almost feels like they're both in consensus of like, we feel the exact same thing, we know we feel the exact same thing, but we won't acknowledge it.
That's why I think that he's the one person you could tell.
No, I get why you're saying that, and I get why relationally it would make sense for him to tell Christopher, but I think logistically it does not.
No, he wouldn't be able to. I'm just saying that if there was one person to pick out of the whole mob family or whatever, Christopher is probably the choice.
Could be.
Yeah,
could be.
True. There was a dynamic that took a turn. It was Dr. Melfi's relationship with Tony Soprano, where I think by the end of this episode, I feel like it's gonna. I don't know if Tony's ever gonna come back, and maybe he will, but
he will.
But it's definitely taking a turn where now she, because of the indictment, and now she's still questioning if she should take him on as a client. But there was a very interesting scene where Tony ends up missing a meeting, and then he comes back and she's like, oh, because you missed a meeting, you still have to pay for the meeting you missed. And he gets super frustrated and starts throwing money at her. Abe, what did you take from that scene, and put yourself in Tony's shoes? What do you think he was feeling when that scene was happening?
Yeah, I think Charlie mentioned that he was like, oh, you're cheaping out after one meeting. And I didn't see it that way. The way that I saw it was like, again, he feels so alone, and he has expressed multiple times of like people don't understand him or don't care about him. And he was skeptical going into this therapy relationship of like, I pay you, that's why you're here to whatever. And I think his biggest concern is that she doesn't care about his feelings. And that's why when she said that and brought up the money is why he was like hurt, because he's basically like, well, if something terrible happened to me, you have no idea. You don't give a shit. And also like, he probably thinks like, you know what's going on. Like, you know, they're coming after me.
Yeah.
And you don't care, basically, saying that to her.
Like, this entire relationship we've built, we have a connection, right? We have that connection, but now it's, well, what is this?
Yeah. I pay you, and that's what this is all about. It's about you getting money for doing your job or whatnot. So I think that's a lot. That's where that specific conflict came from, and why he ended up throwing money at her, because he was like, you don't care about my feelings anyway. You're only here for the money. So here you go.
I personally believe that Dr. Melfi does care about Tony's feelings. And I think we got a great insight into her care for him in introducing her family dynamic and the struggle that she's having, where her family, her husband, her ex-husband is telling, yo, stop it. Whereas her son is like, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Charlie, is there a new insight that we got to Dr. Melfi that stood out to you, and also her dynamic with her family that you saw maybe develops her even more going forward.
Well, for one, it was nice to see her also go to therapy with her family.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always think of therapists like also needing therapy.
Oh, I can tell you right now, like the majority of therapists have therapists.
I want to know the percentage of therapists that have therapists, and I think it's high.
I just never
a lot.
like. It's not something you.
No, something you
necessarily-
automatically.
You're like,
think
you're
about,
the
yeah.
expert at this. You're good with everything. Like, no, they have therapists as well. So it was nice to see that, and then also her basically like not making the decision to get rid of Tony as a client, even though her family is telling her like, hey, this is probably not in your best interest to keep him. It's probably dangerous. So she is having that mental battle because of, like you guys said, she does care about him still. And even after she saw the news stuff about the indictment and they're in family therapy, she's still, you can kind of see she's still a little bit hesitant.
There was a conversation that she was having with her family about Italian Americans. Talking about there's that 20 million who are hard workers, and there's that other one who are mobsters. Is that if I'm getting that correct? I think I kind of missed some of that while we were watching, but I'm trying to understand what do you guys took out from that scene, so I can have a better understanding of what we saw.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just like they're an Italian American family as well, the Melfis or Dr. Melfi's family, and the biggest gripe was that like Italian Americans have a bad name because of this very small subsection of people, and those people are the mob. So the entire conversation was this kind of back and forth of like, we're so much greater than the mob, but they give us a bad name and yada yada yada. And I guess Dr. Melfi was trying to like push back on that a little bit, and also just throughout the entire episode, she was kind of illustrating to people like, just because they're in the mob and they like do bad things, like we just give up on them as people, like we we don't help them, we don't do anything, like that makes no sense,
right?
So I think that's kind of what happened there. And then the dynamic about it is kind of like, how do you see the mob, right? Like some people like us, we see it as entertainment, right? Like through this show, through like all the mob movies that we've seen.
That's what her son said, right?
Right, it's what her son said, but like people view it now as American classics, right? Like Italian American history almost. While granted, the mob is just a very small portion of like what Italian Americans represent. It's still like historical, and like some people were arguing that. So I think she was kind of going back and forth, and she's not entirely sure where she stands on this side of the argument with the mob. I think she knows morally it's wrong. And her ex-husband posed it to her as like, oh, once you skip through all the, psychotherapy and try to have him analyze his behaviors, basically, you're going to get to good and evil, and he's evil. And that was point blank. But I think, her ethics, her morals are a little bit more gray than that.
Yeah. And I think at the end you saw her battle that moral, because she was very conflicted when she was in that therapy office with her family together, where I think even there she was still hesitant to make a decision. And also we saw the indictment happening. We saw everyone going crazy, burning money, burning stuff, moving money this way. Tony did something crazy that I was not expecting him to do, but when it happened I was like, wow, this is interesting.
Move his stash to his mom's.
Stashing at the retirement community. Charlie, do you think that's a good idea?
At first, yes, but also maybe not. Because he didn't go through much effort trying to get that done, and also he did it like very quickly, and he was just putting it in the bottom of boxes of clothes and on top of like the shelf in the closet and all that stuff. So eventually, I mean, his mom might find it, or a caretaker might find it, might run into, a stash of money somewhere. So I think it was maybe a little bit careless. He was just doing it too quick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how the mafia operates. Maybe they keep it there for a couple of days and they move it to a different place.
That's what I was thinking too. They could move it out.
But once his place has been swept, now he brings it back. Like, you never know.
So you never know how many days they were. It's been at the retirement community. Maybe it was just a day, and then since the FBI now arrived, they're gonna move everything back. Yeah. Or maybe they don't, because they're still up for investigation.
Yeah, who knows?
True.
Yeah, who knows? And also Livia Junior's conversation. Livia tells Junior point blank, my son is seeing a psychiatrist. Abe, now we're finally going to see the effects of that and how that comes into the mob. From that conversation, is there something that you want to bring up that you saw? I just think specifically, I thought Junior was very conflicted during that scene.
Yes.
I saw him being like, really? And I think it was maybe the first time where he was looking at Livia and questioning her and being like, I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah, I think I saw a little bit of that. And I think it's just kind of him being like, Tony? Really? Like Tony, of all people? I also think he has conflict because Tony's really had his back the last like 4 episodes. Back to when they had to like resolve a little dispute, and then basically like getting all the capos in line to say that Junior's going to be the next boss, and even like little things that he has to delegate. Like Tony's picking up the slack and giving Junior credit.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious how Junior takes this information, because it feels like, you know, he has an ace in the hole to be able to kind of use against Tony. But at the same time, Tony's been probably his biggest ally, at least he thinks. Right. So the conflict is there of like, what the hell do you do with this information? What does he do? So I don't know. I think it's going to be very telling whether or not he speaks to Tony about it. Because if he confronts Tony about it and asks him about it, then maybe his intentions are good. But if he doesn't,
he's going to use that as leverage.
Then he's keeping it in his back pocket.
Okay.
But does he have someone following Tony? I don't remember if they did that or not. Maybe not. Maybe it's something we speculated before.
I don't think so. I think Tony, I mean, at the beginning of the season, Tony was very paranoid, thinking that people were following him.
Yeah.
Because when he was going to see his therapist, he was seeing people who had ties to the mob in the doctor's office. So he was there like, what the heck is going on? Am I being followed?
But nobody knew.
No.
Right.
No one knows.
Knew. But don't forget, at the beginning of this episode too, at the wedding, they were like delegating about all that stuff about the investigation or whatever, and then somebody was like, "Oh, Tony, what do you think?" And then Junior was like, "Why the hell are you asking Tony?"
And then
Tony
quickly deflected and was like, "No, I agree with Junior. Junior, we should be doing this."
But those are little hints right there towards Junior to be like, "Why the hell are people like looking towards Tony for stuff like this instead of me?"
Yeah, but Junior's got to be
going on here?
Junior's got to be careful, because if he turns on Tony too quickly, people's loyalties can get very divided. Because
but he's gonna find that out slowly. I think. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of layers being peeled back already.
Yeah, there is.
And the kids finally having like their first involvement of like seeing what happens with the mob, because we saw in the previous episode, I believe, where Tony's like reminiscing on his childhood and everything, all of the different things he saw, cops involvement, his dad getting arrested, whatever. The kids, as far as we know, have not seen too many things like that.
No.
This is kind of like the first time when they come in, do the indictment, or come in, do the search warrant, they search the house, all that stuff. So I'm going to be interested to see how that flips the kids' relationships with Tony and the parents in the next episodes.
Oh,
it's a delivery guy who's not following the instructions.
Thank God I didn't
do not ring the doorbell instructions.
Here, before we close this, there was a very nice conversation. I'd say it was an interesting family conversation that we get sometimes in The Sopranos, and that was the Italian pride that Tony and Carmela brought to the kids at the dinner table, talking about Italian history. Charlie, when you were seeing that, what were some of the things that jumped out to you while watching that specific scene?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I feel like every heritage like has their people that they bring up like and look up to. You know, we're Brazilian. Who are we going to talk about? Pelé.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, exactly.
More of our idols are soccer idols.
Yeah.
Football idols.
Yeah. But I feel like that comes up naturally during conversation, and they're looking up to them. But I don't really I don't really know if there's a takeaway from that. The only thing that I do recall is Meadow listing all of those mafia leaders and like basically knowing the whole history of it.
Yeah.
So it's like she knows what her dad does, even though he doesn't want to straight up like admit it, but she's done her research.
Yeah, I think the way that I interpreted the scene was like Tony is out here listing mad people who have a historical impact in the world who are Italian, and he's going off. He's saying, "Yo, invented a chair. He did this, did that, But Meadow comes in. Yeah, but what about the mobs? Don't forget about it, because that's also part of our culture,
right?"
And he's like, "And you're in it too." Right, I think that was a jab of like, don't forget about this, because this started here too. I think that's how I saw it. Was kind of Meadow being like, yo, we got history and we can't censor the history that we're a part of as well.
Yeah. Also notice the parallels between the two dinner scenes. One is kind of like bringing down Italian Americans, right? Dr. Melfi's family, and Tony, the one who's leading the conversation for his family, was like lifting them up and trying to lift them up, getting dragged down by the kid. It was the complete opposite in Dr. Melfi's household.
Yeah.
It was a very intentional contrast, and I thought that was like really brilliantly done. Just to add another layer to the storytelling.
It was a great added layer, Abe. It is true, because we saw with Dr. Melfi's son, like I said a couple minutes ago, he's all like, yeah, you can't forget about the Godfather, the Goodfellas. And you can't forget about that, because that's Italian history. And then you parallel to Tony's conversation. Meadow is like, don't forget about the mob history. And then Tony's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
So that's wow. Yeah. I want to see how that dynamic goes, that dynamic progresses in this show.
Yeah.
Specifically how Meadow and AJ deal with it with Tony, and also how Tony's still having a troubled, he's still conflicted on how he addresses it, and I don't think
with his family,
and I don't think he has an idea, because Carmela's looking at him in that scene and she's like, yeah, I don't know what to say here.
Yeah.
None of them know what to say. Tony's just like, shut up about it. But
even
it's like,
Tony doesn't know.
Yeah, no one knows. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You can't stay silent, because now you're being investigated by the FBI.
Yep.
So yeah, wow. But y'all, thank you. Oh, you got something else to say?
No. That's it. Our food's getting cold outside, so let's go.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to our discussion and also seeing our reaction. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. If you're new here, please consider subscribing as well. We love you guys, and see you soon for more Tony Tuesday.
Hey.
Peace.